Hey everybody, Dan here, and today I've got a brand new news update for you. I went away for a week and there was a ton of news uploaded, typical. But anyway, there's been changes to championship points, changes to play points, a bit of a change to the structure of how you earn a world's invite, so I'm going to be going over all of those quickly today. And we've also got some exciting new cards to look over in both English and Japanese as well. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So what I'm going to start with are the changes in championship points, and to put it simply, championship points I've now times by 10. So where you did earn 1 championship point, you now earn 10. Some of the championship point values for each tournament have changed, but that's pretty much putting it simply. So now for Battle Roads, the relevant series that's going on at the moment, you now earn 15 championship points for a win, 12 for second, and third and fourth both get 10. So it's a little less in comparison to the way championship points have changed for the winner, but you now get a lot more points for coming in the top 4. 10 points for coming third or fourth is amazing, especially considering they took out top cut. So even if you do lose one game and don't go undefeated, you won't be getting the 15 championship points, but you will be getting 10, which is a nice round number to start off the season and to start collecting when you get up your best finish limits. If you want to see all the details about how championship points have changed and what the certain payouts for each tournament are now, you can visit the link in the description below where Pokemon made an official announcement about all the different championship points, how you earn them and what kind of kickers we're getting and stuff like that. So check that out if you want some more information about it. But yeah, it's a good move in the right direction and also works well with how we earn our world's invites now, which I'll get onto after this. So what they've also changed for this year was another thing that was introduced freshly last year, which are play points, including the way you earn them, how you earn them, and how many you need for nationals. The way you earn them is exactly the same. You just turn up for tournaments and you get the points automatically, and the points, the amount you gain is different to each kind of premium event you go. So Battle Roads this year now get you 1 point, which is what they were last year. City Championships get you 2, which I think it was last year, or it might have been 3. I think that might have changed. And what has definitely changed is that you get only 3 points for attending a regionals or states. Now I don't know if any of you are going to have a problem with that. Americans have a lot more states and regionals than we do in the UK. And I know that will be a problem for some players to try and get enough play points to get into nationals, especially if they've increased the limit, because we don't get a lot of states over here and they're dotted very far around the country. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm going to say it's a bad thing, so I don't really agree with play points in the first place, but that is just my personal opinion. So what do you think about the change in play points and championship points? You can leave your comments down below. The final thing to do with championship points that has changed is the way you earn a world's invite. So the way you earned championship points last year was you had to be in the top 40 of your certain region, regardless of how many points it was. So there wasn't a certain amount of points you had to get, you just had to be in the top 40 compared to all the players in your region were doing. But now they've changed it this year, they're scrapping the top 40 system and now they're just setting a certain number you have to get to match or go above to earn yourself a world's invite, and that number is 400 championship points. So it was kind of similar to last year. 40 championship points was the amount that could get you safe into the top 40, especially in Europe anyway. I can't speak for any of the American regions, but for Europe, 40 points or above was pretty much safe for an invite, so 400 should be the same. But the way they've changed championship points does make that a little bit more difficult. You only get 100 championship points for winning a states, and the breakdown's a little bit different, but it's still a challenge, which is why it's there. It's a world's invite they're not going to be giving out easily, and yeah, not much has changed for them really, but I think it's a great idea to just give a certain cap and see if people match it or above and definitely get themselves an invite. So you don't need to be worrying about how other people are doing in the tournament or how other people are doing in your region. You just have to aim for a goal and go for it, which I think is a great idea. So enough about that and more about cards which are going to be released in the future, including both English and Japanese cards. If you want to read more about championship points and play points, do click this link in the description below. It will tell you all about it. It has the official announcement from Pokemon and all the information Pokemon gave us. So moving on to our next English set. Well, not really our next proper English set, but a new English mini set that we're going to be getting called Dragon Vault. Dragon Vault is going to be the small set that the Japanese got called Dragon Collection, so we're going to get all of those, including the secret rare cards that we have at the moment, so expect that, guys. Price to drop dramatically because we will be getting a Dragon Vault very soon. It's going to be released in blister packs. There's going to be a small number of cards per pack, but every single card is going to be hollow. think there's 5 cards in every pack, and it's going to be released with a Drodigon promo, as you can see at the picture just beside me. So this is actually very exciting. We've got 20 different Pokemon and trainers going into this, including Fast Ticket and, as I've just mentioned, the normal Rayquaza, which is the same as the Secret Rare Rayquaza that everyone was complaining about. But yeah, it's really good news. We're getting another mini set before our new set comes in November, and it's going to be released in the first week of October, so look forward to that one very, very soon. Speaking of our new set after that, our first proper full set, is going to be called Boundaries Crossed, and it's going to feature a lot of the new cards such as Celebi EX, Keldeo EX, and all the cards I've been talking about in previous news updates. Boundaries Crossed is a pretty interesting name. It hasn't got the same kind of EX thing that Next Destiny's Dark Explorers had in them, but it does reference the crossing of Black Kyurem and White Kyurem, as we've seen in the new games and the new cards. So this is going to be our equivalent of Cold Flare and Freeze Bolt, which we've been talking about in previous episodes and people have always been talking about, looking into the future, and it's going to be released on November the 7th, so expect pre-releases to be on the weekends, the 2 or 3 weekends before that, so look forward to that one. So let's move on to Japan's cards now, as we've just had released the full set list for Plasma Gale and the half decks. So we've got loads of new mechanics coming in, some really interesting Pokemon, and I'm just going to go through a couple of them today. So the first one I'm going to start off with is the Plasma engine. Plasma has been made into a kind of engine such as the Holland engine back in the day and SP Engine 2. There's a lot of cards that work together. There's Pokemon that are Plasma Pokemon and work specifically with the engine. There's energy that work with the engine. There's trainers, there's supporters, there's lots of different things with this engine. So we are going to be seeing a new kind of mechanic into the competitive game, and it's actually looking pretty interesting and pretty awesome as well. So let's go over a couple of those cards now. So as I mentioned, there is a card called Plasma Energy, and it simply states that it just provides one colourless energy to the Pokemon it's attached to, even though it is a special energy, which doesn't make too much sense, but when you place it with this card, Chorus Machine, it makes complete sense, as when you play Chorus Machine, which is a trainer item, as I just might add, you get to attach a Plasma Energy from your deck onto one of your Plasma Pokemon. So not only do you not have to have it into your hand, you can just search it out from your deck and attach it to a Plasma Pokemon, and then still get your normal energy attachments from the turn. So if you have 2 Chorus Machines in your hand, you can just search out 2 energy, attach them, and attach your energy for the turn for 3 energy attachments in 1 turn with no downside, which is pretty interesting and pretty awesome too. So expect to see that in the competitive environment when we get round to this set. So another interesting trainer card is Poison Hypnotic Beam, which is very interesting indeed because it actually inflicts special conditions on the defending Pokemon in the form of a trainer card. So when you play it, you automatically poison the defending Pokemon, but you also get to flip a coin. And if heads, the defending Pokemon is also asleep as well. So that's pretty interesting. You can work with stuff like Ninetales, or just to generally add more damage onto the field when paired with that stadium we talked about last time, which adds more poison damage in between turns. There's a lot of options for this card, and it's pretty interesting to see effects on the defending Pokemon being activated by trainers now, so watch out for that one too. Onto a stadium card from this set called Plasma Frigate, and this one simply states that every Pokemon that has Plasma Energy attached to it has 0 weakness whatsoever, so its weakness is irrelevant. And that counts for any Pokemon, not just Team Plasma Pokemon. So say you've got a Terrakion with a Plasma Energy attached to it, it now has no weakness to grass. So this is a very, very powerful stadium, and it's going to be interesting to see if decks without Plasma Pokemon, whatever the metagame looks like in the future, run the Plasma Energy just to get rid of their weakness in some kind of fancy deck. But yeah, not having weakness is quite powerful in this format. Just imagine a Darkrai with no fighting weakness against a Terrakion deck. Craziness, craziness. But it can all happen with this stadium card, so watch out for this one too. And we also have 2 new supporters. One is called Chorus, so I'm guessing he owns the Chorus Machine, but he's a support, and what it allows you to do is shuffle your hand into your deck and draw cards equal to the amount of Pokemon cards you and your opponent have on your bench. So obviously that can max out at 10 cards. So just imagine shuffling in and drawing 10 cards. That's easily the best draw supporter in the game. But players are obviously going to be able to get wise to this and not bench as many Pokemon in the late game if they haven't played Chorus, or they're playing against a Team Plasma deck, or whatever the meta game's going to look like then. But it's a very powerful draw supporter, and speaking of draw supporters, we also have Team Plasma's Grunt, which allows you to discard a Team Plasma card from your hand, so that can be trainer, energy, item, anything Pokemon as well, and then you just get to simply draw 4 cards. I'm not sure whether it's going to be worth discarding the trainer, but it's definitely better than Cheren, and we haven't really got much else at the moment, so it's definitely going to be one to watch out for in the Team Plasma engine that comes to light very, very soon. And moving on from that, we also get 3 new A-Spec trainers. One which is called Scramble Switch, which acts as a normal switch, but the Pokemon you switch out of the active position, you can move as many energy as you like from the active you just switched out onto that. So say you have like a Kyurem, a bit random I know, with 3 water energies attached to it in the active position, and you play switch into another Kyurem, you can move on that energy back onto the fresh Kyurem, taking off the damaged one, which is a really cool thing too. Imagine that on stuff like Darkrai. Anything that you can manipulate energy with is always good, so watch out for that one. So the next card is a very interesting one indeed, as it is pretty much a direct reprint of Junkarm. So Junkarm, a very powerful card back in the old format, but this one could be even more powerful depending on how it's translated, as you get to discard 2 cards from your hand and search for a trainer card from your discard pile to put it into your hand. So as you know, with the movement to Black and White on, trainer cards now include supporters, stadium and item cards as well. So trainers now count all kind of like support cards you play, including supporters. So could that card be used to get supporters back? As it reads at the moment, yes, it can, and that's obviously going to be really, really powerful. So watch out for Dowsing Machine. It's a direct reprint of Junkarm, but a souped up kind of version that can get you back supporters. One card I expect you will see in pretty much every deck. So the last A-Spec card we'll be getting in this set is called Victory Piece, and is like Crystal Barrier that works with just Black Kyurem or White Kyurem, I can't remember which one it was, but it's a Pokemon specific A-Spec card, and it's a tool card too, so when you attach it to Victini EX, Victini EX now has no energy requirements, so you can use all of its attacks for free. Now Victini EX isn't the greatest, but it is very interesting. For 3 energy, its main attack does 50 damage, then 50 damage extra if it's attacking a Pokemon EX. So turn 1, imagine 100 damage on your EX turn 1. It's pretty crazy, which is why it's an A-Spec card. So interesting to see more Pokemon specific A-Spec cards coming out, and it'll be interesting to see if we see some more in the future. And there's actually one trainer I've actually forgotten about, which is involved in the Team Plasma engine, and it's simply called Plasma Ball, and what it allows you to do is search your deck for a Team Plasma Pokemon and simply put it into your hand. So a cost-free trainer card that searches out a lot of your Pokemon. We know the stage 2s, that the lower ones aren't going to be Team Plasma Pokemon, but the stage 2s will be, but a guaranteed way to search out your Team Plasma Pokemon with a really good draw engine as well, and some support cards too. This Team Plasma engine is looking to be really, really cool. And I'm going to go over my top 3 Pokemon from this set with interesting abilities, some of them including Team Plasma Pokemon too. So let's go on to that quickly, and that'll be it for this news update. So the first one is Magnezone, who is going to be making a return to the game, as it has an ability called Double Brain. It is a Team Plasma Pokemon, so you can search out with Plasma Ball for free, and yeah, as I was saying, its ability Double Brain allows you to play 2 supporter cards per turn. That's right, 2 supporter cards per turn. So the creators of the game obviously have something with Magnezone being able to draw cards, extra cards, as we saw with the Triumph of Magnezone, but this one allows you to play 2 supporters. So imagine 2 Junipers a turn, 2 Cherens a turn, 2 Biancas a turn, 2 Ends a turn. It's just pretty crazy. And its attack for a lightning and a colorless is Gyrable, which does 80 damage, and then both players switch their Pokemon after doing damage. So it's an alright attack for 80 damage, but not the best, so it will be interesting to see whether this is used as a tech or as an attacker in a deck. So stage 2, it is a Team Plasma Pokemon though, so it can be searched out, but a very interesting ability indeed. This next Pokemon isn't a Team Plasma Pokemon, but it is a very interesting Pokemon from the set. It's Clefairy, it's a stage 1, and has an ability called Moon Guidance, and you get to flip a coin for each one in play, and then you get to search for a evolution card and put it on top of a Pokemon. Even if you just put that down this turn or evolved it this turn. So you can just imagine evolving separate things with this ability, or flipping a coin, getting a stage 1 out and then putting the stage 2 back on top of it straight away. It's really cool, reminds me of Broken Time Space, and should be a really interesting ability. Its attack really isn't that at all, and it's only got a low amount of HP. It's fast because it's a stage 1, but would it be worth it, and will it make it into the competitive environment at all? We'll have to wait and see when the set comes out. And my last pick is the secret rare of with this set, which is Blastoise, which I haven't actually talked about yet, and it's got a ability called Blasting Stream, and it allows you to do exactly what Feraligatr did in a previous format, but as an ability, and attach water Pokemon, but this time to any Pokemon on the field. So basically it's an Emboar, which you can work with water energy. So it is a reprint of a Rain Dance Blastoise all the way back from base set, but this one comes in secret rare form, in shiny form, and is looking really awesome too. It's looking to become a competitive card. People are already thinking of ways to use it with the new EX Pokemon, all the colors attackers, all the water attackers, and just having a new kind of energy acceleration is going to be really cool too. It is a stage 2 like Emboar, and Emboar is considered quite inconsistent and clunky at the moment. Be interesting to see whether this card blows out of the water, excuse the pun. But those are a lot of interesting cards to get through. A new engine is really cool, and we're going to be able to experiment with that really soon after our Boundaries Crossed set. Boundaries Crossed, we'll get some new information about that very soon, and as soon as we get the set list, I will be doing a review in it as a PokeClass episode. So I hope you enjoyed this news review. It's taken me a long time to get through all the cards, but thank you for watching. Please do leave a comment in the section down below of what you think about all this news. What do you think about the new set, the new set name, the Dragon Ball thing, the championship point thing, the play point thing, the world's invite thing, a lot of things to cover, but put what you think down in the description below. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So I think that's all, so thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.